Hi, welcome to Ranger Garage. I'm glad you found our channel. On this channel, you're going to learn a lot about vehicle maintenance. We're going to show the everyday person how to work on classic vehicles, modern day vehicles, things that you can do yourself instead of paying, hundreds and thousands of dollars, hundreds and or thousands of dollars to mechanics and other shops. We'll teach you some customization, some modernization stuff. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions about the work that we've done, maybe it wasn't clear, feel free to email us at rangergarage@gmail.com. Hope you enjoy. Hi, welcome back to Ranger Garage. This is the Ford Bronco that we have been discussing. It is almost complete, and we'll go over all of that once it is final. But today what we'd like to discuss is trim and how to bring your classic Bronco into the new era. A simple way of doing that, believe it or not, is simply a coat of paint and changing the normal colors that cars from the 80s and 70s and 60s used to have. For example, blacking out grills, blacking out headlights. I'll show you one such example. So here we have the traditional front grille. We have the chrome trim around the lights and the chrome and black grille pattern. Now on my project, I am going to keep the grille or the bumper chrome, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to black out the grille and the area around the lights. You'll find that it gives it a much more updated look for a very inexpensive cost. So here is the blacked out grille. As you can tell, the Ford emblem really pops against that black background. And I will place it up against the Bronco to kind of give you a quick look of what it might look like. So this is kind of what it might look like once I fasten it to the vehicle. Now I simply, to do that, all I simply did was get a can of Rust-Oleum black gloss spray paint. I masked off the Ford emblem, and I put at least 3 coats of black gloss, and then I hit it again after about 45 minutes. I hit it again with the gloss clear coat from Rust-Oleum. I let that sit for about an hour, and then it's good to go. I just peeled off the masking tape, and I had a very nice updated grille. I'm also going to do the same thing for the headlights, and I'll show you how I did that. First thing you have to do when changing out or pulling out the headlamps and the grille is, believe it or not, to remove the headlamps, you have to remove the grille. And the first thing I'll have to do is remove these top screws. Once I remove these, then I'll be able to remove the grille and then gain access to the other bolts. And I'll show you that when we get to it. So I'm going to remove these screws first. Now these screws come with a spacer. So once you remove the screw, then you have to pry out the spacer. Good idea is to keep these together so they don't get lost. Now I'm not going to move the camera, but I'm going to get 2 more down here on the other end. And they are the same way. They have screws with spacers. That's the screw and that's the spacer. You have to pop the spacer out separately after you remove the screw. This last one's kind of a problem. There it is. I got it. Now there are also more along the top here, the same setup. As it turns out, I don't think I'm going to have to remove those completely. Let me check. Yes, I did not have to remove those top ones completely. I'm going to show you what I did here. So, all I had to do was pry this piece up a little bit, and then I reached up under here. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's the little latch. Lift up and then pull the grill out. Now, to get to the rest, now that we've got the grill out, to get to this, the smartest method, at least on this side, is we need to remove the battery. There are 2 bolts back behind this light, about right here, that need to be removed. And then I take out this bolt here and this bolt up here. Once that's done, then the headlight will come out. I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get the battery out. I've actually opted not to take the battery out. I simply put my socket down in here and I placed it on the back of the nut, and I am now loosening it up. Okay, now that I've gotten it loose, I am, with my other hand, taking the nut off, and I will pull that out, and then I will start on the second one, the one right below it. Here, almost got it. This only took a matter of a few seconds. And there is the back of the nut. Now after about a couple of seconds, I got the other one in. This would have been easier had I removed the battery, but honestly, the time it would taken to get the battery out, it would have taken a lot longer. It wasn't overly complicated. Just still trying to get the other one out with my other hand. And there we go. And there's the second one. Now, as you can see, I got the back portion of it. You see how loose it is now. Okay, now I'm just going to remove these other 2 right here, and I'll have the light out. On this one, you'll need an extension. It just makes it much easier because you got to get back there in that little gap. And the other one, you did not need an extension. In fact, an extension would have been a detriment. Okay, I got the bottom one out, and I have already loosened this top, and I'm going to pull it out with my hand. I just want to let you know, I used a 7/16 socket, and that was the same for all 4. Just need an extension for the inner 2, and I'm about to pull it out. Well, I did miss a bolt. Apparently, this other bolt right here was holding it in. So make that 5. Okay, got it out. Now this should come out right away. Maybe. Yep, that was it. And now, as you see, it's coming out. All you do is disconnect the wires here and here. I have to put this down so I can do it. Okay, for this one right here, all you had to do, if you couldn't see it on the screen, was lift this piece up here with a screwdriver. I had to take this loosened first so I can get to it, pop it off, then I just screwed that back on. And as for this one, this should just be twist and turn, which it is. And there's the light. Next, I'm going to tape this up. I'm going to clean it off, tape it up, and paint it. A couple things that I use to clean this stuff up. I use a regular soap and water, and I use a brake cleaner. The reason I use a brake cleaner is because it evaporates, leaving no residue, makes it easier for painting. So I'm going to take that out, clean this up. I'm going to use a towel, try to dry it all off. Once I'm comfortable with it, I'll tape it off. I'll show you where I'm at once I finish cleaning. With soap and water. Now I'm going to once you get those lights cleaned up, you need to make sure you hit that with a good sandpaper. 600 grit would be fine. If you have any extra stuff you got to get off of it, maybe a 220, but I wouldn't go any deeper than that because you don't want to have a lot of deep scratches in it. But just enough to rough up that fake chrome material to allow the paint to adhere. And I'll show you how I do that. And I'm going to hit the spots right around here. Okay, just like this. I'm going to go all the way around, put a little pressure on them, and put the phone down to get a good grip on it. But I'm going to go all the way around on the silver areas, okay, to allow the paint to adhere. Okay, I finished sanding this up. It doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see some paint over here because we're going to cover that up. But just want to make sure you get all this stuff to where it's smooth. I may have to hit this again here. But you want to make sure it's all smooth. Then you want to wipe it down prior to painting. Sanding it down. Now I'm going to hit this with some brake cleaner and wipe up around the areas. The driver's side light, the inside portion, one closest to the wall here, those two that were hidden, you got to access from inside. If you remember on the passenger side, I said you might have to remove the battery, but I did not. I was able to squeeze it. Well, the same thing here. You've got your washer reservoir. Did not remove it. It was more difficult than the other. Took a few extra minutes, but that's the last one. And it's out. All that took about 10 minutes. Yeah, I've got these both taped off, and now I'm about to hit them with the instructions on the can. I'm going to use this gloss Rust-Oleum. First hit it with a light mist, wait 10 minutes, then hit it with a good coat, wait 10 minutes, and then hit it with a final coat, and then you do the clear coat after. First coat looks like just a light mist, kind of almost gives it like a gunmetal gray. So I'm going to let that sit for 10 minutes, then I'm going to hit it with paint. It's been 10 minutes, and we are now about to hit the other new spray on here. This will be a complete spray, so it should be black when done. Gotta be careful not to overspray. Trust me, cleaning up drippy goop, which I did on the carrier, the back portion of the Bronco, is far worse than taking your time. We'll come back to that, hit it again. Try to go in one motion. Of course, I'm fighting the wind. Now I'm gonna have to put the phone down so I can lift up these ends. Just doing some touch up before I let this second coat dry. All right. We'll let that dry for 10 minutes.